is, but there are some things which I think are definitely worth saying today, so I'm going to do it. Firstly, on behalf of Mum and Dad, we'd like to thank you all for attending tonight, to mark a very special occasion and to celebrate two very special people. I know I speak for both Dave, my brother, and myself when I say that we are in the presence of two truly remarkable people here tonight. Throughout our childhood, they were a source of constant support and stability, which I'm certain was unappreciated at the time, but is recognised today. Take just one example of their selflessness. I'd like to go back 20 years or so. I've tried hard to think of anecdotes that could illustrate some of their character, but here's just a single example. 20 years ago, Nikki and I were just starting our married life together. And we have a fondness for all things old and decrepit, and I don't refer to Iris and Bernard. Part of our fondness for ancient things was our first house in Manchester. We didn't have a lot of money at the time, as many people don't when they start out. And the house we bought was in a pretty desperate state. Really, to make it inhabitable at all, we had to spend 6 months working on the place. And Mum and Dad drove over the Pennines virtually every weekend and gave up their entire time, helping us turn what was a dark and cold shell into a warm and comfortable home. And they never expressed any doubt to the sanity of their youngest son during that whole period. So really, we'd just like to publicly recognise that and say thank you very much. We couldn't be here today without that. Of course, coming back to the present day, I find myself once again in the wreck of an old house. So, Dad, if you're up for a spot of plastering in the morning...
I'll do what I can.
Seriously, again, it's fair to say they provided both David and I with the clearest model of how to live a decent life and to show compassion and support for those we care about through times of difficulty. I'm sure you're all aware they have had some fairly particularly traumatic times in their own life recently. I think the special bond between them has never been clearer. No celebration of their lives together would be complete, of course, without a reference to their extraordinary talent for dancing. And again, I think I speak for Dave to say this came as something of a complete and late shock to us. Throughout our time as children, there was very little hint of this hidden talent. And it really wasn't until we were both safely away at university they sought to develop their skills, which makes it all the more impressive from my point of view. We stand in awestruck admiration at their passion and energy for the sport, at which they so brilliantly excel, as anyone who has seen their trophy cupboards will obviously attest. Coming to the end of the speech here, really, so in summary, they say you can choose your parents, but you can choose your friends, you can't choose your parents. If I had a choice, I certainly can't imagine a better couple of people to have brought me up.
Amen to that.
Thank you, Tim.
That's really all I have to say, so mercifully we're coming to the end here. So please join me in a toast to two people who are and continue to be great parents and best friends.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
Marked down is predictability. Now, ladies, you do not approve of
You're
predictability.
treading on dangerous.
And the example that I will give you of this predictability is she will say, declare, tomorrow is oven cleaning day.
Yeah?
Come the morning, I suggest, let's go to Brid, Blackpool. I can predict the answer every time. And then as a cashier, when we didn't have a lot of money, or even less than we have now, she could always find some extra money. When holiday time came round, we had enough in the bank, say, to go down to Wales or somewhere and have a little holiday. But with no spending money, she could find it.
They through your pocket.
And she could argue really that when we're on holiday, the household expenses are not being spent, so we can spend those, you see. And then another aspect, as a child rearer, That's what they call it now, child rearing. I think it's a bit clinical, a bit agricultural, I think. As I will say as a mother. And I reckon she's doing all right there. A grade B for mother.
Oh, we're doing better.
Because
Coming up now. I want to see what I get an A for then.
I've got to keep some marks in hand, haven't I? She may be better at some other things, you see, mightn't she?
Let's not go into that.
So, as a mother, well, she brought up two good lads, of whom I've always been proud, and are amiable and civilised men. And why am I proud? Because it's all down to her. Really. While I was at work, she was there setting the tone of the family life. So, in this case then, grade A. The fourth attribute involves physical strength and good looks, and the gentlemen all lean forward at this, and the ladies turn their faces a bit like this. But you'll notice that very carefully, having turned the face away, they're pointing one ear right at me, and the other one is blanking out any extraneous sounds. So, what I'm talking about, of course, is prowess on the dance floor. And strong, graceful, musical. What a foxtrot. Grade A star. Now add it all together and add on the odd little mark about is she kind to animals and charitable and things like that. And it comes out then that I give her grade A star, in fact a whole galaxy of stars, which I personally sewed onto that lovely blouse that she And I come now to the last little bit that I want to say, and I might be a bit too emotional to say it, so I've written it down and I might request somebody to read it.
Go on, David, read it.
When I was a young man, I loved
Let
Iris.
David read it for
No, I loved Iris more than I knew, and that's true. I didn't realise. And now, not so young, I love her more than she knows.
Snapple.